What's up, you guys? It's your girl Loverly and I am back with another video. You see the thumbnail and the title. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys about 5 tips and tricks that I use during the hot summer season to ensure that I have successful outdoor balloon installs. So if you guys would like to see the full video and tutorial, make sure that you sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and also leave me some comments in the comment section below. I want to know your feedback. Let me know if this video was helpful to you. Let me know if you learned something. I want to know it all. But before we get started, I would like to give a big shout out to today's sponsor. Shout out to RoseMorning for sponsoring this portion of today's video. As you can see on screen, I am currently unboxing their new GuGu wall, which is their 8x8 flower wall made from silk florals and fabric, which is what they are mainly known for. This company invented this flower wall system, which is super convenient for event stylists like myself. Most of their flower walls come in 2 pieces, but this specific wall came in 4 pieces. This is why I have 4 small boxes on screen. To install this flower wall, you will not need zip ties at all. As you can see, it came with a zipper system, and all you have to do is attach the pieces together using the zippers and the strings that's on the back. There are also strings on the sides for you to tie the wall to your pipe and drape stand for extra security. The link to the stand that I'm using will be in the description box down below, as well as my Amazon storefront. Let me know how you guys feel about this new wall design. I think it's one of my favorite designs so far. If you guys would like to save some money at checkout, use my promo code LOVERLY to save. The direct link to their website will be in my description box down below. I've also decided to show you guys how easy it is to package the wall after each use for easy storage. And that's why I love RoseMorning flower wall. Thank you again to my friends over at RoseMorning for sponsoring today's video. But without further ado, let's just get straight into today's tutorial. So as I said earlier, I'm going to be giving you guys about 5 little tips and tricks, the main ones that you need to know whenever you're doing your balloon installs. As you guys know, it's getting warmer outside. And I get questions all the time like, how do you prevent your balloons from popping? Because I do a lot of outdoor installs. Like if you look at my Instagram page, you'll see that most of my setups are like outdoors. So I get the question all the time like, how do you ensure that your balloons don't pop? Like what methods are you using? Are you using like a special brand of balloons? So I'm here to give you guys all of the answers, or the ones that I can remember right now. So for starters, make sure that you're using quality balloons. Like I know that I advocate for like Amazon or like, you know, saving money all the time, but when it comes to my paying clients, I don't play that game. I do use like the chrome golds or the silver or some mylars from Amazon, but when it comes to like full balloon installs, I make sure that I'm using quality balloons. And my favorite balloon brands to use are Qualitex, Sempertex, and Balloonia. Tuftex, I do like them, but they don't have a long shelf life, so I try to like avoid them. Like if I don't have to use their colors, I just choose another brand. But my favorites are Qualitex, Sempertex, Balloonia, and also Tuftex balloons. There are some other brands that I've used before. Calisan is starting to become one of my favorite, but those are my 4 main balloon brands that I use. So make sure that you're starting off with quality balloons. So that is the main thing. So I know a lot of us use like pipe and drape stands or like metal poles for our columns and stuff like that. When it's hot outside, the metals on our stands get like super hot. So what I would recommend you doing is wrapping your poles with tape. You can use gaffer's tape, or I don't know if painter's tape will stick, but I do like using duct tape whenever I'm wrapping my poles. So I'm going to show you guys. So for example, this is a metal pole, and if I'm going to be doing an install in like 90-degree weather here in California, I know for sure that this pole is going to get hot, and if I start putting my balloons on the pole, it for sure will like pop my balloons. So I will take like duct tape and wrap it all the way down. You can also use you can try to find a colored tape that matches the colors of the event that you're doing, or just try to like get like black, since the metal is already black, and if it was white, you can just use white duct tape and just wrap the pole. This way the hot metal won't directly be touching your balloons and you won't have to worry about them popping. So that is my second tip. So for my third tip, I do like to inflate days prior to my event. Sometimes my client don't have a big budget for me to like rent a truck or something, but if I can, I most definitely will inflate my balloons some days prior. This helps the balloons get soft, so on the day of install they're not like too stiff and I won't have to worry about the sunlight popping my balloons. I think there are other reasons why we inflate days prior, but I find that my balloons are like way softer and they're not old, but they are not like crisp. I don't know how to explain it, but like inflating days prior do help with like the longevity of the balloons whenever I install them for my events. So I'll definitely suggest inflating your balloons at least like 4 or 3 days prior to your event. You can create your garland or you can create your clusters. Place them in a bag. I like to use mattress bags. You can find them at the Home Depot or U-Haul stores. I like to use like the twin size or the queen size mattress bags. Pack my balloons in them and then store them in a dark, cool room. Even if the room is not dark, at least make sure that the room is cool, because the temperature is very important whenever you're storing your balloons. So I would definitely suggest inflating your balloons a couple days before and storing them in a cool space before your event. This will definitely help with how long your balloon lasts on your event day. So while we're talking about inflating balloons, I want to show you guys how to underinflate your balloons. This is very important. Underinflating your balloons for outdoor installs will definitely help with how long your balloon lasts on the day of your event, especially in like direct sunlight and especially when it's like super hot outside. So I'm going to give you guys a little demonstration of how you can underinflate your balloons. So I'm using 11-inch balloons here, but you can use the same method for your 16 inches, 24 inches or whatever. But I'm only using 11-inch balloons because it's just a demonstration. So I have my pump right here, and what I'm going to do is overinflate first and then release some air. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean. So this is overinflating your balloons. You don't ever, not even for indoor install, you don't ever want your balloons to be like this shape or this size. This is definitely overinflating. So what I do is I inflate them all the way like to this size, then I release the air until the balloons are like soft, and that is what you're looking to get, like your balloons to be soft. Same for this. And that way my balloons are like softer. You don't want your balloons to be stiff like they were when I first inflated them, because as soon as the sunlight hit that, they're gonna pop them, or at least like this. And that is key. And whenever you're tying it, you don't want to tie them too tight together, because when balloons are like outdoors in the heat, they need room to expand. So you need to leave like a little space for the balloons to expand. And this also goes for whenever you're inflating mylar balloons or foil balloons for outdoor installs. You always need to leave a little space in them to expand. So when I'm tying it, I don't tie them this close for my outdoor installs. I leave a little room. I leave a little room. I leave a little room. So see, you don't want it to be too tight together. You don't want to tie it that tight. You want to leave a little room in the balloon, so when you're creating your clusters and it's time to install them outdoors, they have some room in them for when the heat actually hit them. They have a little bit of room to expand. If you had like really tight together and then the heat touches it, then it'll just pop. But this way it'll expand instead of just popping right away. So that is one of the main tips you want to do. You want to do that for all of your balloons. Also your Mylars, also your jumbo balloons, your 16 inches, your 24 inches. Make sure that you're leaving room in your balloons for when the heat touch them or when the sunlight touch them, they can just expand instead of popping. So you want to make sure that your balloons are like really soft. You don't want to go out there with no stiff balloon. Let me show you guys again. So you see the difference. So these are my softer balloons and this one is my stiffer balloons. Like look how stiff it is, and it's really like hard to the touch. If the sunlight hit this, it's popping right away. There is literally no room in this balloon for it to expand. Even if you let out some air, like it's still too tight. Some people like to let out all of the air. That way the balloon is stretched and then they inflate it again. And that definitely makes your balloon softer, but it does take a longer time. So what I like to do is just overinflate it one time and then let out some air until it's soft enough for me. So see how soft it is? This is what you're looking for. Whenever you're tying it, make sure that you're leaving space like this. Make sure that you're leaving some space. So you tie all the way at the end. Make sure you're leaving space for your balloon to expand. I'm not even sure what number I'm on right now, but for my other tip, if you can, make sure that you set up in a shaded area. If a client book you and you know that it's going to be like a really hot day, and then if you look at the site that you're going to be setting up at and there's not really any like shaded area, you can suggest a tent for your client to get a tent for you to install under, because this way you can definitely ensure that your balloons won't be popping. Setting up in a shaded area will definitely ensure that your balloons last for like the whole event. Like sometimes we cannot predict the weather. Their balloons, they pop. We can only do so much. Even with that little tip that I just showed you guys, it's still a possibility that some of your balloons will pop. I've never really had a problem with my balloons popping, but like they can pop because they're balloons. So if you can, suggest to your client to get like a tent for you to set up under. If they can't get a tent, ask for it to be set up in a shaded area. But if that's not possible, then you just stick with the first idea of underinflating your balloons, and make sure that you have this listed in your contract so your clients know that the sunlight or the heat can pop the balloons. So if the balloons pop after you set up, then you won't be responsible, because you did suggest them getting a tent and you did suggest setting up in a shaded area, but it wasn't possible, so you have to set up in like the direct sunlight. Just make sure that they know that the balloons might pop. So put it in your contract, don't forget. And my last and final tip for now is using lighter colors. If you guys don't know yet, I don't know how long you guys have been doing balloons, but what I've learned over the years, darker balloons in sunlight pop easily. Like the black balloons, the dark blues, the greens, they pop so easily. Even for like the gold accent, I usually like to stick with like the silver chromes, because sometimes like the Qualitex chrome gold, they do pop sometimes in the heat, and I think it's because they're darker. I don't know what is up with the darker balloons and the sunlight and the heat, but like what I've experienced and what I've talked about with my other balloon friends, darker balloons like the black balloons, they pop way easier than like the white balloons. So if you can suggest to your client like, hi, instead of using black, can I use like this shade of gray? Or you can suggest custom colors. You can suggest double stuffing to get like close to the shade that they want, but like using darker shade balloons in the sunlight, you can't really guarantee it'll stay the whole event. No matter if you underinflate and stuff, there still is a high chance of the balloons popping. So like using lighter shades outside if you can, or if you can suggest using lighter shades to your client, then I'll definitely do that. It'll definitely ensure the longevity of the balloons throughout the event. So that is my last and final tip for now. These are just the main ones. I'm sure there are other ones. If you guys have any tip for your outdoor installs, you can definitely leave them down in the comment section so others can read it and, you know, get like insight and stuff like that. But that is all I have for today's tips and tricks. I hope that the video was helpful. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that it'll get you prepared for all of your summer events. If you guys aren't subscribed to my channel as yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me your feedback down in the comment section below. Don't forget to go check out RoseMorning. The direct link to their website will be in my description box below. And if you guys would like to save some money at checkout, go ahead and just use my code LOVERLY so you guys can save, and come back and let me know how you feel about their walls. As I said, this one that I set up is definitely one of my favorite to date. If you guys have been here for a while, you guys will see that I've, you know, unboxed a couple of their flower walls, and this one is definitely like one of the cutest one that I've unboxed so far. But go ahead, check them out, make your purchases, and use my code to save some money at checkout. Come back and let me know how you feel about it. But that is all for today's video. I'll definitely catch y'all in my next one. Bye.